Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while since I've put anything out on YouTube. It's been about a month. It's been quite an eventful month, though. So you may notice I'm missing one of the boxes here. So we had, who was it? It was Vilnius that actually started getting robbed out. I did notice it. Thought maybe they might be strong enough to push back the robbing bees and the wasps that were getting in there, but I came out a few days later and checked, and there was just no activity that I could see at the front of the hive, except maybe just one or two bees every minute or so. So I opened it up, did an inspection, and I basically found that there was no life whatsoever in the hive. So I'll show some pictures of kind of how that went. I did notice just a lot of activity, a lot of bees just kind of going in and out of the upper vent and the bottom vent and stuff. And I just didn't, I don't have any kind of robbing protection or screen, but I think I'll obviously have to buy something like that in the future. I did, however, go through and put on entrance reducers on all the remaining hives. I also lost La Paz. La Paz, the same thing, and I never even noticed any robbing at La Paz, but I did notice there was no activity there. So when I checked on it, it just it was empty as well, and just a whole lot of debris in the bottom. There were a lot of empty frames, so all the resources had been taken out. So I did take all the boxes inside. I put them in the freezer so that hopefully anything that was still in there, any wax moths or anything like that, might be killed off. And I've stored those so that I can reuse those boxes in the future and the frames for them. So I did notice that it appears that I have some deformed wing virus in Jetta here. So that can be caused apparently by the viruses. It's a virus that's carried by the Varroa mites. So my sense is that I've probably got a lot more mites in here than I had hoped for. So I didn't actually do a mite test, but I'm just making an assumption that all of my hives have mites in them. So I actually bought a battery-operated oxalic acid vaporizing gun. It's called the Reaper, the BP200. Kills the mites, not the bees. And this one is specifically designed to take the battery from a DeWalt power tool. So I've got several batteries like DeWalt power tool that will slide onto there, and I can turn it on and it will start heating up this pot. And then I have the oxalic acid the powder that goes in there, vaporizes it and pushes it out through the nozzle here. So I've tried it a couple of times. There's a pretty steep learning curve with it. I think I'm doing okay, but I'll give a review on this as well. This was it wasn't cheap. It was a few $100. I'll try and look up the details and put them in the description there. But I didn't want to get anything too fancy, but I also didn't want something that I had to clip onto a 12-volt battery that I had to lug around, or anything too fancy either. But it's got a temperature readout here. The one thing I hadn't realized when I bought this, which I wish I would have, this does not have a thermostat on it. So basically you turn it on, the unit has power, so it'll display the temperature. You can turn the heating element on or off manually by this toggle switch, but it doesn't turn off automatically when it reaches heat. So they do tell you, hey, you want it between 200 and 235 degrees Celsius, but it's up to you to notice when the temperature gets close to the maximum and you have to turn it off. And then there's a few disclaimers in the paperwork with it that says, hey, if you overheat it, you know, that's your fault for letting it get too hot. So not overly impressed with that, but you get what you pay for, right? So it does seem to do the job. It does clog up frequently. So, but what I've read, if you just put a little drop of water in there and cap it, and then the steam kind of helps clean it out. So it looks like I've made a little bit of a mess here with some of the OA acid, oxalic acid, in this area. So we're gonna do some oxalic acid treatment here, but I wanted to check in and show everyone how the bees are doing. It looks like I've got 4 hives doing really well. This one's really doing, it's still really small, and I think it's a lot to do with that virus, that deformed wing virus. But we're going to treat them all with oxalic acid, and I'll just show you a sample. I won't show you me doing all the hives, but I definitely want you to kind of get a sense of what it takes to do that and how this vaporizing gun works. I'm going to get suited up just because once I start poking things, I do it from the back here, and I'll move the camera around and show you what I'm doing. But the bees are definitely going to start getting a little interested in what I'm doing, so I'll put my suit on just because I don't want to actually have to leave partway through this. I will also wear a mask. It's a mask with certain filters designed for organic vapors to protect, because you don't want to breathe in any of this stuff. It absolutely would. I have no doubt that it would make you sick. But I know even with the mask on, as I was testing things out, if I found myself in a cloud of the smoke, it seemed to affect me a little bit at least. So, so anyway, thanks for joining me with Adrian Has Bees. You can see there's tons of activity. It is 87 degrees out here. It's about 5 o'clock in the evening. We're in early October. I imagine our weather is going to be changing soon, but thanks for coming along, everyone. I'll move the camera and show you guys what I've done in the back here. I'm actually not going to complain too much about losing 2 hives, because 6 hives seemed excessive to me to try and go into winter and manage, especially La Paz, which was off to the side, plus really close to an ant pile that seems to be getting bigger and bigger, which I would like to deal with. But I wouldn't have voluntarily destroyed those hives without a better reason. But since they're gone now, I'm going to do my best to take care of these. Yeah, so here's our little caps for the oxalic acid pieces. We use this as a table. I think it's going to be hard to read that in the bright sunlight. But let's see. What I think I'm going to do is clean that oxalic acid vaporizer a little bit more. And I've found like an 1/8 inch drill bit and a wire tie that seem to fit pretty good, just to scrape things off. And obviously not the best, smartest thing for me to do, but alright. Put those back in. I'm gonna get, so this is my package of OA acid apibioxol for varroa mite control on bees. And you can see this is just a really fine white powder. It's got some chunks in there that I kind of break up as I can just by squeezing the envelope. But supposed to use 2 grams. This is a 1 gram thing. Actually, I think the instructions say use 1 gram per brood box, so I throw 2 in there. Then I do a double because I watched a Bob Benny YouTube video that kind of talked about the effectiveness of it. Some studies were made, and they said basically 3 to 4 grams per brood box was shown not to harm the bees, but was much more effective in mite control. So that's what we're gonna stick with, I think. All right, got to remember to put my microphone on. Sorry if you couldn't hear any of that. If not, I'll talk over it. Subtitle. Okay, we'll get these loaded up with 2 to 3 grams in each. So there's 3 grams in that one. And what I found is after I use this one time, it's much more likely to stay clean if I do vaporize some water in it. So we will be doing that here shortly too. Okay. Here's my little gas mask. Now, since I'm getting close, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on and start the applicator heating up. And you probably can't hear me very well. I sound muffled. But I'll keep talking, and if it doesn't come through on the microphone, I will dub over it. So I can't, oh yeah, 45, 46, 48, 40. Oh, maybe 50, yeah, 53, 54, 55. Okay, getting up there. So once it gets to 200, we can actually put that in there. And I'm going to start by doing our London hive. Definitely want to make sure that they're going to be safe this winter. The idea is to get rid of as many mites as possible. So I'll show the front of the hive here. So all of these hives are showing activity, which is good. I think I may relocate that camera. See what our temperature is now. Okay, we're at 120. So I'll try relocating that camera quickly. Okay.
We're at 150. So what I will do is I will pull the plug. I've got a stick with a 3/8 inch hole in it, ready to pull out. Now let's shoot the vapor in there. You might actually see some of it coming out. You may actually see some just kind of burning off what was residual in here. Ooh, it's a warm one. I'm also going to put on a glove. In case I may accidentally touch a hot part or a bee. Okay, we're over 200. We're at 202, 204, 205, 206, 207. Okay, 210, 211. So I'm going to take that now. We'll pull that plug and we're going to put that there. I'm not overly thrilled with how this seals up. I feel like it could have been a little better, tighter fit for that cap. It actually appears that it's kind of clogged up the front of that, so I think we're going to throw some water in there before we try it again. You can see that was just from steam and from water. Okay, our temperature is 223, so I'm going to click that off. We're going to do a second dose in there. That way, for each brood box, it will have had 3 grams. I see that cools off really quickly. We got down to 1. It's really hard to read in this light. I think 187. It's still vaporizing a little bit. I think it got cooled off by the water and then the other really quick. We'll do another steam. You can kind of see how that was coming out. Oh, dummy me standing in the smoke. But we're going to turn that off. So, the honeybeecare.com. I'll look up and see if that's exactly where I bought it from. But no one sponsored this. There's a fuse there. This was not gifted me. I paid money for it. I was a little disappointed. There wasn't much communication after I ordered it. I paid for it with PayPal, I think, and there just didn't seem to be a lot of communication. I felt like I was waiting for a long time, and I even got to the point where I was starting to wonder if maybe I'd been scammed. But it did actually show, ultimately. I had sent an email, I think, asking for an update.
Whew, that's better. So I had sent an email asking for an update on it, and it did seem to take quite some time to come in. The instructions are pretty basic. I mean, I think someone obviously put a lot of time into it, but I'm not sure it's really manufactured by anyone who has any manufacturing experience. Had a few loose parts in it as I was opening things up. So let's just have a look and see how the girls are doing. So really appreciate everyone that watches, and I think our bees are going to be set up as long as I'm getting this mite treatment in soon enough. I do feed the bees. I've got my field feeder out there that I keep stocked with sugar water so that hopefully they're getting enough carbohydrates in and getting themselves a lot of bees of winter physiology ready. So, but thanks for coming along, everyone. I appreciate you watching the channel, and I look forward to hearing any of you that have gotten any of the honey from these bees. I love hearing how you use it, what recipes you use it in, whether you put it in your tea, whether you put it on, make honey buns with it, or use it as a glaze on ribs. I love hearing all those different ways that people use it. So thanks for watching, and we will keep posting videos while people keep watching them. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Adrian has bees.